Welcome to the show, folks. Thank you for all tuning in today. Good to have you here as we hear from some of the most fascinating people in our area. Who are these movers and shakers? Who is dreaming so big that you'd better stay on the lookout for them? Today's interview is with some super smart people from North Carolina State College. You know those state folks. They can teach us about all kinds of things. Building things, flying things, computer things. Heck, all kinds of things. These folks teach us about farming and train up our teachers and engineers. But today, we are going to talk about science. I remember struggling through biology in high school. Woo-wee! That was some tough stuff. Mostly I remember playing basketball and flirting with all the pretty girls. Well, if you're like me and you don't remember much science yourself, just the squares you taught it and the geeks who understood it, then today might come as a surprise. We've had scientists on our show before, but today you're in for a real treat because we have a real live lady scientist. This little lady is interested in stuff I've never even heard of and certainly never thought a girl would want to do. Isn't that amazing? If I could have taken chemistry from a pretty girl, I might have rather studied than stared out the window all year. This pretty young thing is Mrs. Jessica Reeves. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Wainwright, but it's Dr. Reeves.
Did you hear that, folks?
I received my PhD from NC State.
A PhD? This cookie has a PhD.
Yes, thank you.
Well. But are you married?
I was, yes.
That must take a mountain of courage to marry a woman scientist.
Perhaps, but my husband never mentioned that marrying me made him feel particularly courageous.
So, what's your husband do for a living?
Well, he doesn't do anything now. My husband died. He was killed during the war.
I'm so sorry for your loss, ma'am.
Thank you.
A lady scientist and a widow. How do you manage?
Well, I have my research to keep me occupied. It's a fascinating field of study and keeps me very busy.
But who takes care of your children?
We don't have children. He was a soldier and I worked in the chemistry lab.
What a shame. What a shame. How long has he been gone?
Long enough that I can manage without him, but not long enough that I care much to talk about his passing.
It must be terrible to be a female, all alone in the world.
We have our burdens. As I was saying, I had my research.
Yes, the science. Do you do your scientific studying alone?
Well, a scientist always works within a larger context. The physics community
Physics? I thought you were a chemistry teacher.
No, I worked in a chemistry lab for some time, but my research focus is physics.
Huh. I really thought you were in chemistry.
Well, my undergraduate focus was...
So you don't teach chemistry?
No, Mr. Wainwright, I don't teach chemistry. I'm a researcher at NC State studying the physics of negative energy.
Negative energy?
Yes, negative energy. If you will...
You heard it, folks. This little ducky researches negative energy. Whatever that is.
Yes, physicists postulate that negative
What's
energy.
it like, being the only bird working with all those men?
Oh.
I bet those boys aren't staring out the window with you around.
Well, I hope not. They have lots to focus on inside the classroom and even more in the lab. For instance...
But what's it like, though?
What's what like?
Working with all those college boys.
Well, I'm certainly outnumbered. It can be a bit lonely without the support of other women. That's why I wanted to encourage your viewers to consider studying science, no matter what your gender is. There is an incredible history of women in science and mathematics, and they've helped to shape this field of knowledge. In the decades to come, I imagine more...
Here! It's more pretty faces and high school science classes all over America.
And college classrooms and labs, too. I envision a future where research laboratories might be peopled exclusively with women in science. There is a bright future ahead for all of us in the sciences, for all genders.
Yes. But don't you think that womenfolk are happier working in their natural habitat?
Are you referring to the domestic sphere?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
I don't think that's true at all. Many women, perhaps even most women, would feel more fulfilled working.
Oh, you are a bit of a firebrand, aren't you? Most girls want to marry and stay at home.
Yes, well, why don't we bring out one of my research assistants? He's here with a poster presentation that might help explain our work a little better.
Wonderful. Let's bring him on out.
Hello, everyone.
Good to have you here, my boy.
Thank you, Mr. Wainwright.
This is Dr. Al
Actually, Leonard, he's not...
Just call me Al, sir. We're all friends here.
Yes, we are, my friend. Yes, we are. What do you have to share with us today, Dr. Al?
We're here today to talk with you folks about time travel.
That's extraordinary.
You're getting way ahead of our research, Al.
Is that true, young man?
You're right. I might be a little bit ahead of our current work, but just a little. But it's exciting that Leonard Wainwright is a man of vision and can clearly see the potential in science.
Exactly right. The future is limitless.
It's a good deal more complicated than that.
Well, sure it is, Mrs. Reeves.
It's Dr. Reeves, and it's important to firmly place our work in the proper context.
Thank you for that reminder. I intend to do just that.
Great. So, can you tell our viewers a little more about your research?
I'd be delighted to.
Wonderful.
Where to start with this amazing project? Our current research focus is on the qualities and applications of a new form of energy.
Like nuclear energy.
No, not nuclear. It's this energy that behaves very differently, but it's got the potential to impact life as we know it.
Al, what we know at this time is that it is an inverse form of matter that affects the stability of...
Whoa there, doll. You are moving way too fast for this whole country boy. If you could slow it down for the non-science folk.
Leonard, and for you watching at home, I want you to think of the world all around you as positive. Let's see. Can you do that?
I think I can, sir.
Great. Now imagine a form of matter that is the opposite.
Inverse.
A negative energy. It functions as the opposite of the positive energy as we know it, and all the matter in the world that we are used to living in interacts with time.
All that we can conclusively say is that...
Wait. So you've created this negative matter?
Yes, we have.
No, we have observed...
So you haven't done it?
As I said, we have not, but...
We are close to isolating the inverse form of energy, and once we do that, this energy is available for us to harness, and we can use it for a myriad of applications.
We have observed the energy and hope to isolate it soon. It's too early to...
What can you make from this stuff?
Well, the theory is that this energy can manipulate time.
All we know is that it affects the permeability of the temporal...
Time. The impenetrability of time would be broken. We can harness this negative energy to change the density of time and allow us to access different times and space.
Extraordinary.
We can harness this negative energy to change the density of time and allow us to access different times and spaces.
Wow. So, time travel.
No, transdimensional science is more complicated than that.
Time travel. That sounds like time travel to me.
Besides, we're years away from safely being able to attempt...
Yes, it's a miraculous thought, is it not? We can alter what has been unalterable for the whole of human history.
You, Dr. Belden, are a man.
Yep.
A man with real vision. If you could use this negative energy to change time, what would you do?
Well, the first thing I would do...
Yes, Mr. Belton, what is the first thing that you would do?
Dr. Reeves, I have stepped on your toes at my...
You have. Maybe stomp would be a better choice of word?
Oh, there, kitten. Don't get your claws out. I was just dreaming here.
But he's daydreaming with my research.
But Dr. Reeves, right here, you write, immensely optimistic that the density of the future timeline will be traversable if we can stabilize the energy.
How dare you! It is completely unethical to publicly share from these notes, and unforgivable that you should ever remove a notebook from the site of the work itself.
But you wanted people to understand the scope of the work that we're doing.
Yes, by sharing the carefully curated data that we formatted and discussed.
People don't understand the process. They just want results.
It is our job to make them understand the process so that they can get the full context.
Sometimes you have to break the rules to make any real progress.
Give me that notebook. You no longer have a position in my lab. Good day, Mr. Wainwright.
All right, folks. We'll be right back after a commercial break.
Thank you,
Thank
Patty.
you, Patty.
What a thrill to take the wheel
Of a rocket Oldsmobile.
You know, there's a new word to describe that Oldsmobile thrill.
It's spelled O
L
D
S
M O B I L I T Y. O-L-D-S, Oldsmobility, glamorous new. Oldsmobility, powerful, yes. Oldsmobility in Olds 458. Just wait till you see Oldsmobility in action.
Like in the beautiful new Dynamic 88.
There's a new rocket engine under the hood, new power, and greater fuel economy.
Economy that matches the down-to-earth price of an 88. The lowest priced rocket engine car.
There's nothing like the 58 Oldsmobile.
Yes, there's no mobility like
O-L-D-S, Oldsmobility in Olds 458.